Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Oh my Lord. Happy Friday. Well, it looks like the puppies want to say hello to you, so hold on a second. Who wants to come up here first? Okay. Walter said, I want to say hi to everybody first. He said, hi, everybody. Can I kiss? Are you having so much fun today? Is it Bachelor Weekend? He said, I don't really know what that means, but it's Bachelor Weekend. You want to come up here too? Oh, come here. You want to come up here with your brother? Otis like walks around. Okay, now you want to come up here? Okay. Well, let me pick you up, honey. Hold on a second. Okay. They said, we just got to say hi to our dad on the phone. What are you doing, bud? Are you up here with your brother? Is that your brother? Y'all love each other so much? Okay. They have been crazy boys today. They have been running around and just took them out back about 15 minutes ago. And yeah, they ran all over the place. I was like, okay, hopefully they'll tire out a little bit. Usually if I'm sitting here talking like on the phone or like when I do my therapy sessions right here on the computer, but they like one of them, usually Otis goes downstairs to his house and then Walter goes to the bed over there and sleeps. So this is my second attempt at a vlog. I was about 5 minutes into the vlog and then Alex FaceTimed me. So I like just stopped the vlog. I was like, I'm gonna talk to my husband first. Now, y'all know I do not love to vlog inside, okay? I get very distracted by stuff. I don't like to vlog inside. I'm gonna turn the light down the computer a little bit. I don't like to vlog inside, but I thought I could vlog outside today. I think it's like, I looked earlier in the day and it was 9 degrees. So we'll look here in a second and see what the temperature is. But I was like, I think I can vlog outside today. If I take my blanket and I take my hat out there and stuff like that. Like every time I took them outside, I mean, we were literally only outside for like 3 or 4 minutes max. But I was like, it's not too windy. I think that I can probably vlog outside. And then I did a Little Debbie ice cream review. Do you see where he's going over there? Okay, they're real curious back there. Walter, come here, Walter. They're real curious. I have stacks of books over there, and I found out, so then I have like hardbound graphic novels on the lowest bookshelf. Otis is right here. And they've been chewing on them. They're real curious about that section back there, about the books, which is why I try to keep the chair like pushed up against but they're little guys. They're little guys and they're adventurers and they can still get in there. And they love going back there and seeing the books. The other thing they're real fascinated, well, Otis is more than Walter. Walter won't go real far into it, but Otis like goes, like if I'm doing laundry, like the last night, yesterday and the day before, usually sometimes they just like sit in their house while I'm doing laundry, but Otis like wanders all through the basement. He's like real curious about the basement now. So they're just little adventurers, you know, and stuff like that. But anyway, I did this Little Debbie ice cream review outside, and I sat in the chair closest to the door where I, you know, usually like vlog unless it's dark outside. And I was like, when I took the stuff out there, I was like, this isn't going to be that cold. It was so cold, and I think the video is like 10 or 12 minutes long. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to vlog outside. So then I was like, well, should I vlog upstairs in the bedroom? I was trying to really figure out for them, because if I vlog down here, the chance of them like running around, or you'll see them in the background, they wrestle. They like wrestle all day long. Like they're just constantly wrestling each other. But I was like, if I was in the bed, they'll do the same thing in the bed, but it'll be like, you know, 6 by 6. I was kind of hoping they might just like sleep while I was vlogging, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So anyway, they have been like crazy running around all day long. We've been having so much fun, haven't we? Walter said, Daddy, pick me up. And now Otis is over here. He wants to be picked up. You want to be picked up and say hi to everybody? Were you so happy to see your dad? Did you guys both get to get on FaceTime and say hi to your dad? He said, yeah, we miss him, but it's Bachelor Weekend, and we're about to have a storm, and we're real excited about it. You real excited about the storm? He said, we don't really know how much snow that is. I keep on telling them about the snow. Do you do this with your dogs? Like, I feel like I'm going crazy. Hold on a second. Like, when I'm doing stuff, like... What was I doing earlier? I was taking something to the garage, and I said, oh, I was taking trash out, and I said, this is trash. I said, this is what we have to do. Like, we have to take the trash can out and put the trash bag back into the kitchen trash bag and stuff like that. Do you guys do that? I'm constantly like educating them about the world. What are you doing? He's licking the table or something. What are we doing over there? Does everybody like your haircut? This is the first time the vloggerinos are seeing your haircut, bud. Say, yeah, I pretty much got a haircut. I'm fancy and bougie now. Don't even worry about it. Speaking of fancy and bougie, can we just talk about this sweater for a second? So I thrifted this about 20 years ago. And I've kept it all these years too. Because I thought, you know, there's going to be a time that I'm going to want that sweater and I'm going to want to wear it. It zips up. But can I tell you what it reminds me of? If you watch these BritBox shows, especially the ones that take place like in like northern Scotland, they all wear these big like heavy sweaters like this. So today I was like, I think I want to wear, I always wear t-shirts and hoodies and jackets and stuff in my vlog, but I was like, if I go out and somebody wear like a cute sweater with like a flannel or something, I was like, I want to wear a cute sweater for my vlog today. So I brought this out of the closet. I was like looking through the closet. I was like, what would be the best? And so I put this sweater on and I was like, this will be real cute for the vlog. Because you guys like when I wear different, well, some of you notice it when I wear different stuff. So anyway, I had this on. Well, I think I had it zipped up. Like further like, no, I didn't have it zipped up all the way. But anyway, the collar was like popped and stuff. When I FaceTimed Alex, I was like, have the phone right here. And he goes, look at you. He was like all dressed up in that sweater that you never wear. I was like, I know. Made my coffee. This is my very last Lavazzo tiramisu coffee. This is the very last one. I've been trying to save the vanilla affogato for this weekend because it's my favorite next to the Cafe Bustelo. So I've been trying to save that. Yeah, but anyway, it's getting really cold. So let's do a little time and temperature check. It's interesting because, you know, I was like, I don't know, I might not film any videos this weekend. I might just take the day off on Friday. Alex is gonna go. So Alex left this morning. His friend's dad picked him up. So he and his friend drove together to the airport. His one friend, she was already down there. Well, she was in, so they're in Fort Lauderdale. She was in Tampa, the girl he's rooming with. It's the girl who's had the New Year's Eve party and the girl that, I'm trying to think of the weddings in order. She was the first wedding that we went to. So they're rooming together. He just showed me like the Airbnb with the pool and stuff like that. He seems really, really tired. He actually, I thought he was gonna stay up super late last night because he was watching Love Island. And then as soon as Love Island was over, he went to bed. So, and I think that was at like 11 o'clock. Because I said, are you going to bed right now? He was like, yeah. I was, no, it was like 11:30. Oh no, I think, well, I don't even know. But anyway, it was like 11. No. That was the night before. Okay, last night, he went to bed at like 12. Well, we'll get to the last night here. Well, I'll just tell you right now. So, Alex came home from his meeting thing. And then I was laying in bed and I was talking to him and stuff like that. And I had to have Nikki tell him something funny. So I called Nikki on speakerphone. She had just finished Traders. At this point, it was like 10:15. I think it was like 10:15. And he really wanted to watch Traders. And I was like, okay, but then I won't get my nap if we watch Traders. And so he was like, okay, he's like, if you, whatever, we can wait till we get back. I said, oh yeah, then we're gonna have to wait until you get back. And I thought there was 2 episodes on last night. And Nikki, like, so I called her on like speakerphone, and which I never usually do. But she was like, oh my God, you guys have you watched Traders? It's so good. And then he was like, no, he was like, Peter wants to take his nap and whatever. So when we got off, I said, if you wanna watch Traders, we can watch Traders. So we came downstairs, we watched Traders. Well, Traders is like an hour. So by that time, we didn't even get upstairs until like 11:30. And that was when he started watching Love Island. And I said, I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. He goes, you're gonna lay down now? And I was like, I had my like Kindle and stuff. I said, I'm gonna read 1 chapter and I'm gonna lay down. He goes, now? I said, yes, now, because I have nothing to get up for early tomorrow. So anyway, then he like turned everything off and I woke up and that was at like 12:30 and he was going to bed. I actually thought he was gonna stay up longer because he's watching some show he's watching. I can't remember what it was now. But anyway, he got caught up on Love Island. I was asking him if Ariana Madix is on it and he was like, no, because this is the UK version and that's the US version over there. What are we doing? Are y'all playing over there? Oh, you got Weird Bird? Is that what that is? Hey, Walter, come here. What are you doing over there? He walks like this. It's real cute. What are you doing, huh? Yeah. Walter said, I would be picked up all day long and carried around if I could. You want to show him what you like best? Being held like a baby. You like being held like a baby? He said, that's about my most favorite thing in the whole world. About your most favorite thing? He said, I got a haircut too, Dad. Didn't nobody notice it. Because you just got kind of like a little bit of a trim up. you want to tell everybody what we're going to do this weekend? What Bachelor Weekend means? He said, well, it means lots of TV shows, lots of movies, lots of going outside. So really no different than any other weekend. He goes, oh no, there's something big that's going to happen this weekend. Well, what is it? You want to tell everybody? We're going to try to sleep in the bed one night. You're going to try to sleep in the bed one night, aren't you? He likes to put his head back way far like that and then let me rub his neck. He said, yeah, me and Otis think we can do it. You do? Do you think you can do it, buddy? You think you and Otis can? He said, I think we can make it through a night. Isn't it so funny? They're only 8 months old. Say, we're only 8 months old. We're just still babies. Look at his little hair. Look at your little hair. Best boys ever. So then last night, I ended up sleeping super, super late on my nap. Anyway, he got up today. So he and his friend, her dad, took them to the airport today. So it came at like 11 o'clock, kissed me goodbye and said goodbye to the dogs and stuff like that. And then he left. And then they all met at the airport. And he was texting me from the airport and sending me pictures and stuff like that. Every time he sent me it, like I was like laying on that side, so I would see it come up, and then I'd feel like I had to like look at it, and be like, I was like, I just want to go back to bed. So anyway, I didn't. They got in. I think their plane left. I don't know why they got there that early. I think their plane left at like 1:30 or something. Here, let's look at the text messages and see. He sent me a picture of them on the plane. Here was them on the plane, and then 1:15, they were at the gate, he said. And then he said, miss you already. I said, miss you more. And then I said to tell his friend that she can still call the wedding off if she wants to. And then she said, hi, Peter. And then he was telling me about the flight. And then he was like, we're just taking off. Then he said, free Wi-Fi on the plane. I said, oh, that's nice. He said, you're nice. And then he sent me the picture, and then he said, just landed. So that was at 4:30. When I just talked to him right now, they had gone to the grocery store, they had gone to the liquor store, and they had just got back there, and he had just unpacked. And they were gonna do a taco bar. And I said, are you guys doing anything? He's like, no, they're getting a boat tomorrow or something. So they're doing like a boat tomorrow. They're not really going out a whole lot. I thought they would like, I mean, this is like, these girls are like in their mid-30s. I thought that they would like go out a lot more and stuff like that, but they're not really. He said maybe tomorrow night. I think they're doing like 2 dinners at the house, and then I think they're going out to dinner. So maybe tomorrow night. There's like a dress code, you know, you do on like bachelorette parties and stuff like that, where like the bride wears white and everybody else wears like black or something like that. Anyway. So that's the story of Alex. And then that's the story of my husband. That's the story of our marriage. And then I got up. And I, today, took them out. The neighborhood is like so eerily quiet. Like, I don't know if a lot of people are gone on vacation right now. Now it looks like it's kind of dark in here. I don't know if a lot of people are gone on vacation right now or what's going on. But it's like eerily quiet in our neighborhood. Like really, really quiet. Oh, there's Otis. You're usually sleeping over there. Come here. You always run away from me when I try to like pick you up. Come here. Otis is like, you know the dog, like Walter is like pawing at me to pick him up. Otis has to like do it on his like own. He has to be like, okay, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna come over here now. Oh, I'm trying to uncross my leg. Come here, buddy. Okay. He said, I want just as much time. Doesn't he look so little? You smell that lip gloss, don't you? Or lip balm. Look at your little paws. Now, what's your name? He said, my name is Odie Patoti Tater Tot Monn. Is that your whole name or is that your Christian name? He said, that's my Christian name. Odie Patoti. Otis, Odie Patoti. What's your stage name? Otis. Just Otis? I go, just by Otis. That's your stage name. But your Christmas name, he calls it his Christmas name. We're just making this up as we go. But your Christian baptized name? Odie Patoti Tater Tot Monn. Tater Tot, yes, he said Tater Tot of the House of Potatoes. I'm Little Potato of the House of Little Potatoes. Or I'm Little Tater Tot of the House of Little Potatoes. The House of Little Potatoes, he said, you're trying to make fun of something that you don't even understand. He says, I am just not even bothered with this conversation. Okay, well, Odie Potato, we will see you later. Goodbye. Then Walter always, like, climbs on him. Walter, what's your name? You want to tell everybody what your name is? Come here. Come here. Okay. Now let's tell everybody what your name is, buddy. He's like, what is that lip balm? He said, well, my name is Walter Wiggletoes Hash Brown Monn. Walter Wiggletoes Hash Brown Monn, is that your Christian name? He said, no. What is your Christian name? He said, my Christian name. Christian. Who's that? He said, my Christian name, my baptized name, is Walter Cunningham Monn Paredes. That's your whole name? He said, yes. My whole name, Walter Cunningham from To Kill a Mockingbird. Aren't they the sweetest babies? Okay. Y'all have had enough hugs and kisses now throughout the day. You ran around. It's time to go take a nap. Okay. Whew, a little coffee. So today I got up and made the bed. Like all my laundry's done. I dusted everything last weekend. So I'm like ready for Bachelor Weekend, honey. I am ready. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make some videos. Well, I made a video and then like I take them outside and I take a break. Because I was like, I got no time limit. You know, there's nothing like I have to like do. Oh, by the way, since I did not do a candle pairing today, but I did bring a candle, which I've already been burning. And this is Shy Wolf Candle and this is Hearth. I love this candle so much. Okay, the scent notes are cherry, sandalwood, vanilla, and cedar. I have my lighter. I went to go trim it and it was already kind of short, so I didn't need to trim it again. So there's the candle for the evening. But so I sat down, I can't remember what, so last night I watched Suddenly Amish. So I am like caught up on all my shows to review except for Love After Lockup, which is on tonight. It's Felon Friday. And I'll have to text Nikki that. Hold on a second. Pull up my text on my computer. I keep my treats, or their treats, in the pocket of my coat right here. Look at this old coat. This is still the coat that y'all see the coat that I vlog in. It's like the coat that I wear with Caroline and stuff like that. Do you guys remember this UGG coat from like 8 years ago? This is still the coat. I have gotten so much wear out of this coat. Tiny calls this my Bernie Sanders coat. This coat I still wear to take them out every single night. This UGG coat has held up through the years. Anyway, it has like little bits of treats in the pocket of it. Okay, oh, Nikki. Gotta tell her it's Felon Friday. I'm gonna say Happy Felon Friday. Happy Felon Friday, Bunky. We call each other Bunky because that's what Brittany, from Brittany and Marcelino, she would call her friends. Let me turn the volume off. Okay. So, did she already? No, she had comment already. She sent me a picture of her new nails. She got her Valentine's Day nails today. I'll tell you what they are. It's kind of like a French tip. I told her before she got them, I said, I don't love those. It's like a French tip, and then they have hearts right here. And then this one has like 3 hearts on it. I don't love them. She's like, well, they're not your nails. Anyway, so today I was like, oh, you got all the time in the world. Well, what happened was my day kind of got away from me, honestly. So, no wrestling. Oh, they're wrestling. They wrestle with their, you hear that? What? You don't like that when Dad talks your language, do you? Okay. So last night I watched Suddenly Amish and took notes on it. So today I did my video on Suddenly Amish. So I'm caught up on all my shows until Sunday night with Sister Wives. And then what did I do after that? Oh, last night I wanted to watch a movie. And you know, because we're supposed to get this storm and stuff like that, which the storm has now shifted. Is she taking a nap or something? She has not responded to my text messages. Her and Tanya Jean. Tanya Jean, like, estimated time of arrival of a text response is like 4 hours. Okay, and probably because she's like trying to figure out the letters. Tanya hates to text. No wrestling right now. They're going that back door. They want to go out. So anyway, you just went outside. We just went outside and ran around for a long time. I know. I know, life's tough, isn't it, when you're a puppy? Oh, Otis just went over there and sat in the bed. Anyway, I filmed a drama video today. I filmed a TV video. I did a Little Debbie ice cream. I did a booktube video, and I did a movie video. So last night I was wanting to watch like a winter storm, blizzard kind of like scary movie. If you have any recommendations, please put it in the comment section below. I feel like I've talked about it on here before, like starting the movie The Thing with Kurt Russell. I would have sworn I had seen this movie at some point. Maybe not. I don't know. Like maybe I knew I hadn't seen it. So I feel like I've started it like 3 or 4 times. I watched it on AMC if you're wanting to see it. You can like rent it on like Apple and stuff. I think AMC is the only place you can watch it. So I started watching The Thing last night. I didn't really know what to expect when I went in to watch it. I mean, I knew about the original movie and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty good. I was kind of surprised. It came out in 1982. I think it still holds up to this day. I mean, the special effects were cheesy and stuff like that. They actually reminded me a lot of like Halloween 3. I did a whole reaction to it, so I'm not going to repeat everything I said over there. In fact, today I did a book video talking about the books that I'm reading right now, and I was like, you know, people say I talk about the same things on every channel. I said, so I talk a lot about the books that I'm reading on my vlog, so I thought I would just bring it over here. So on my booktube channel today, it's uploading right now. Is it done? Let's see. No, it's got 19 minutes left. I'm uploading this video of what books I'm currently reading right now. But I watched that last night. What did I watch after that? Or did I go to bed? I was like really tired last night. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna hang out all day tomorrow. I really, to be honest with you, I didn't think that I would end up making 5 videos in a vlog. I really didn't. Like tomorrow and Sunday, okay, here's where my head and my heart are. Like my heart is, Alex is gone, make videos because you've got like no time limit or anything to do. Like at least make 1 or 2 videos a day plus the vlog. I just don't want, here's the problem. Like it's not really a problem. But once I start making videos, then it's like all of a sudden it's like, well right now it is currently, 7:18. So all of a sudden it's like the day just goes by and I'm like, where did the day go? Even though I'm having fun. But while he's out of town too, I do want to kind of like, you know, just lay in bed with the dogs and watch movies and listen to audiobooks and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to just be, like, filming videos and getting them uploaded the whole time. Plus, my computer is really, I mean, it's, like, literally on its last legs. I need a new computer so bad. And, like, when I'm trying to, like, make a thumbnail while, like, I'm rendering something, it just won't do it. Like, it just shuts down. So, I need a new computer. So, then I'm sitting here even longer because it's taking me longer to do stuff. So, my heart, because I love filming videos, is like, no, Alex is gone for the weekend, film a couple videos, blah, 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 whatever, each day. My head is telling me, use the time to just watch TV shows, binge. Like tomorrow, well, I have literally watched every video that Max Velocity, unless they put on one since I started, which might be possible because they've been putting them out like every hour. I would too. I mean, the views they get on their videos, I love their videos. Max Velocity and Ryan Hall, y'all. Well, Max Velocity I like more because I don't know, there's just something kind of funny about him, but also he's just very, like, I feel like the way that he presents the information is better. But the storm has shifted now. You know, so Nikki's in Pittsburgh, so she's looking at getting like 16 to 24 inches of snow. We're, like, right now, they're estimating, I should look and see if it's changed. Right now, they're estimating, see, my computer's working real slow right now. It won't even let me go into Google. There. Right now, they're estimating between, I have all these posters of The Thing pulled up because I was making my thumbnail. Between 8 and 12 inches in Indianapolis, which in all honesty for us, like over the last couple years, is still a lot of snow. Indianapolis, well, let's look at the weather and then we'll look at the weather forecast. Indianapolis weather, it is 5 degrees right now and winter storm warning. Okay, more info. Heavy snow expected. Total snow accumulations between 6 and 10 inches. But I like looked on all the things. It says 8 to 12. I guess that would be 6 to 10. Let's see the most recent update. Oh, 32 minutes ago. I don't know this channel. Hi, honey. 2 hours ago. This is from Indy Star. This is the local newspaper. Let's see what they say. Winter storm warning. What Indianapolis can expect this weekend? I mean, it changes every hour, you know. According to Indianapolis meteorologist, snowfall in the city will... Just took me to all these ads. Get out of the ads. Okay. Snowfall in the city will hit between noon and 3 p.m. January 24th, which is tomorrow. Light snow will continue into Saturday night, and moderate to potentially heavy snow will continue throughout Sunday. Meteorologist, whatever his name is, I can't pronounce it, told Indy Star Eckhoff. The snow should end early Monday morning before sunrise. This could have some impacts on the road on the morning commute Monday. The thing about Indianapolis is we're always like prepared for like heavy snow. Like we're not a city that shuts down because of snow. We're a city that shuts down because of ice and cold. Like schools here in Indianapolis, is this Otis or Walter? Oh, it's Otis. Schools and stuff like that in Indianapolis get more shut down. This is so funny that they're wanting all this attention right now because they've gotten so much attention today. But usually when I'm sitting here on the computer, they don't do this. I can't, do you want me? Sweetie, I can't reach for you while I've got Walter. Come here. Okay. He's standing sideways, like purposely, like just standing there letting me pick him up. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So we love each other very much. You just want to be up here because Walter is up here. And Walter just wants to be up here because you want to be up here. Best friends and brothers. Best friends and brothers. Okay, y'all go take a little bit of a nap or something. Okay. Now they're already playing again. It's so fun having little puppies in here again. All the energy and stuff. You guys are so sweet, aren't you? Where'd Otis go? There's Walter. Otis likes to go in all the places because he's smaller than Walter, so he can. Oh, this is the other thing they do. So they chase each other around, and then like if I'm sitting here working, like Otis is the one that chases Walter. Walter will come and run underneath and stand underneath this chair. But now Walter is on Otis's back, biting his face. We don't want to bite each other's face. Bite my face, yeah, man. What's that from? What movie is that from? Oh, that's from Roseanne. Do you remember that back in the day? It's a Halloween episode when Dan says they're trying to trick Darlene about like this woman that escaped from like a mental institution, and she's like out there trying to kill people, and then Dan says, "Yeah, wasn't she the one that tried to like bite her face?" And he goes, "Bite her own face," and then they like scare Darlene, and Darlene goes, "Bite her face, yeah, man." Why do I remember the stupidest stuff? Where are we at on time? Am I almost at 30 minutes? Oh, honey, the land. I'm at 27 minutes. Anyway, oh, the snow. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Like, ice storms, well, this is probably true of anywhere, but like in the South, they're not like, 2 inches of snow could like shut down a city. 2 inches of snow, even a foot of snow. Well, a foot of snow is probably easier because they can plow it. We got an email today that they are, after 3 inches, they will start plowing the streets and the walkways and the driveways because they're like, weather advisory out, this is the maintenance company. A winter storms coverage was expanded early January 23rd to include Hoosiers living in central Indiana as far north as Kokomo. So Kokomo is probably 45 minutes from where I'm at right now. It's not letting me go down on this page anymore. Okay. The warning takes effect 7 p.m. January 24th and will continue until at least 7 p.m. January 25th. So it's tomorrow into Sunday. Heavy snow reaching 48 inches is expected in parts of central, east central. I have a feeling we're going to get missed. I think we'll get a couple inches of snow, like 3. This is what always happens, is I always get super excited about it, and then nothing happens. And Nikki, I think, like I look at Pennsylvania is all like 16 to 20 inches. She bought sleds. She bought all kinds of stuff. She's so excited for the kids. The heaviest snow will fall late Saturday night into Sunday afternoon. Travel could be dangerous during the storm, and the warning advises people who must travel to keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in their vehicle. Did I ever tell you all about this? My mom, who never drove an interstate, she hated interstates. She always took side streets. From like my Aunt Kathy's house when I was growing up, which was literally 2 blocks from where I'm at right now, all the way home to where I lived in Carmel, like it's probably like a 20-minute drive. My mom would take side roads the whole way. Like stop sign through neighborhoods. Because she didn't like to take the highway, which at that time was like 2 lanes and 2 lanes that like the speed limit was probably 45 miles an hour. In my mom's trunk, she had like 3 wool army blankets. She had probably like a box of canned food that you would like need for like 6 months in the wilderness. She had like 2 fire starter logs, matches. She had like hats, like a parka from the 60s in Chicago. She would like, if you ever try to take it out of her car, My mom, when I was growing up, she had this Nissan Maxima that like literally, I think she drove it for like 20 years. And then one day it finally died. She was actually right up the street from here, it died. And then my uncle sold her Saturn, and that's what she drove after that. But, the camera stopped. My dad, when they got divorced, like he had like, I don't know if I shared this story before. I used to be so protective of stuff. I just don't give a shit anymore. Caroline's really helped me with that. She's like, share whatever you want to share online. But my dad, like on the first divorce contract, like he handwrote it. He like gave her the house. He like gave her unbelievable stuff, like paid vacation like every year for her and a friend for like 2 weeks. And like a new car like every like 3 years until I turned 21. My mom, you wanna know who my mom is? He was like, we'll just sign this. We don't have to go through attorneys and stuff like that. I mean, it was like ridiculous amounts of like alimony and stuff that he was gonna pay her plus child support. My mom, okay, she told me a story later. My dad did too. And the story, like both of them tell it the exact same way. He had like handwritten this thing out and like, we're gonna sign this and we'll take it to an attorney and it will like, he typed it up and all this kind of stuff. My mom stood in front of him and she ripped it up and said, you can go fuck yourself. I'm gonna get an attorney. And she did. She got an attorney and she did not get what my dad had originally given her. And she would say until her last days, she was like, because the divorce settlement said she could get any car she wanted. And it was like every, like, because my dad was basically gonna, it would be like she was, I mean, it wasn't like she was gonna be an employee, but that's kind of like how it would be. And I think she felt treated like that, like, oh, I get a new like company car like every 4 years or whatever, but it was any car she wanted. And my mom always wanted a convertible Mercedes. And like at that time she said something to him about it. He's like, if that's what you want, he's like, it's not very realistic on snow and ice, but if that's what you want. My mom till like, I mean, till her last days would be like, I should have just taken your dad up. That stupidest thing I ever did was taking your dad up. And she said, I still got divorced. I mean, my mom still did great and settlement wise. I mean, she really did. But she, I mean, she would still bitch about that. She wanted a cherry red convertible Mercedes. I always wanted to buy my mom one. I never had that kind of money. I still don't have that kind of money. Do you hear the crinkle toys? Do you know what is so funny? Like, it doesn't bother me, but can I tell you what's so funny? Is like in the middle of the night when I'm watching my shows and stuff, I have my AirPods in, so I can't really hear it. But then all of a sudden, they'll like, because I have the lights on the kitchen so I can see them, like all of a sudden, they'll just like look, I can see them look up. So they must like hear Alex get out of bed and go to the bathroom or something. No wrestling right now, Otis. Walter's hair is literally standing up like that. Are we wrestling? Don't you think it's time for a nap? About time for a nap? You've had dinner twice. You've had, oh, they don't like, the treats that I got them are these hearts, but they like, I put them out in the bowl and now they're hard. They don't like them as well as when they were soft. They loved them. What are you doing with your brother? Oh, there comes Otis. Everybody's wanting to play today. So anyway, what was I saying? I think my parents had the longest divorce in the history of Indiana. No, true story. I mean, it went on forever. And both of them was same stories. I mean, my mom refused to sign it. She's like, I'm not signing it until I get my fair share, is what she said. Anyway, I don't know about all that. But then I remember when she told me this years later, when the divorce settlement came, it was like the most, like when the signed paper came saying they were divorced, it was like the most devastating day of her entire life. She said, I thought I'd never get divorced. My mom, like, I'm not saying people don't, and I'm not saying that my dad didn't. I think he did, but I think he also was like, neither. My dad would say to me later, he was like, neither one of us were happy. And I felt like one of us deserved to be happy, and I knew your mom wasn't going to leave. So if I left and I was happy, he was like, you know, at least I was happy. And he was like, and if I leave and we're divorced, maybe your mom will find happiness too, because we're not happy together. You know, my dad would talk about later about it was like the greatest love story ever. Like when they met, they were so in love. I think it's why my mom's so related to the movie The Way We Were, that they were so in love, but then they fell out of love. And then they just didn't even like each other. Like they weren't roommates, they weren't friends, they just didn't even like each other at all. And they just were, I don't know, they just, you know, like, my mom would tell this story about, so my mom had friends like in the Chicago 7. I haven't gotten into a lot of this. But anyway, in Chicago, when she was working at Northwestern Library. And there was like some protest. Like my mom was a real activist. There was some protest she wanted to go to. Well, you know, my dad was like ready to like, you know, my dad he has never been with my mom, with my stepmom, with me. Anybody that's going to tell you what you can do or be like, I allow my wife, that is not my dad. My dad is like, you live your life, you make your choices. But he was at a point, I think this was before, well, when did the Chicago 7 get arrested? Because it would have been before that. Hold on a second. It was before I was born. I'm almost positive of it. Hold on a second. But it was something to do with them in Chicago. But anyway, she wanted to go to this protest and it had something to do with them. Like 2 of them she worked with at Northwestern Library or was friends with them or something like that. So anyway, when did they get? Okay, it would have been, this was the 1968 Democratic Convention in Chicago. It was a massive protest against the Vietnam War. So it would have been 68. And this was when my mom wanted to go down there. And she went to one of them, and then my dad, I think he was really worried she was going to get arrested or something. That's kind of how my dad has kind of told it. And he said to my mom, because, you know, my dad was like, I'm ready to settle down. Like, I'm in med school residency. I'm ready to settle down. They lived in, so they both went to school in IU. Then they lived in Indianapolis. Then when they got married, they went to Grand Rapids. My dad did his family residency practice in Grand Rapids. Then they went to Chicago, and my dad did his plastics residency in Chicago. He's a retired plastic surgery. But he's also a hand reconstructionist. So my dad did his hand reconstruction and plastic surgery residency in Chicago. He did it through Northwestern University. The hospital that he was at was Cook County Hospital at the time, which I think is called something different now. I was born at a different hospital in downtown Chicago. But anyway, my dad like rotated through several of these hospitals. So my dad was like ready to settle down, like, you know, and my mom was like part of the hippie movement. My dad was too, but like she was really all in it and was working at Northwestern Library and like would go to meetups and coffee shops. My mom was always very liberal. And apparently they had some conversation and my dad was like, I fully support you in this stuff. But like, if this is the road that your life is going to take, then I just don't see us being together down the road. And I think like my mom, it was during this time, because she would talk about it later. It was so weird. She would say like, I wanted to be with your dad. She was like, but I also had this other part of my life. You know, it's interesting. Well, she'd say, I also had this other part of my life that I really, really wanted to live. And that life did not have marriage and kids in the picture. And I had to make a decision. You know, she's like, your dad would have let me go to every protest, every activist. She's like, your dad, he supported me in any choices, any decisions I made. My dad is very much in supporting me, my stepmom, my mom, in any choices, any decisions, any dreams we have. But he's also a realist and he's pragmatic. And I think he was like, I think he knew he wanted to move to a suburb and raise a family. Like, he wasn't wanting to like live in an apartment in Chicago and going to like protest rallies. Like, that was not the dream that my dad had. And he was like to my mom, like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but I don't think we're going to make it long term, you know? And so, because my mom later, like on the street that we lived in when I was growing up, she would always say, like as soon as we turned on the street, she'd say, gotta turn my music down so that nobody thinks I'm like wild and all this kind of stuff. And she was always real resentful about it. Like later in life, she'd be like, I'm turning my music up in my car. If people have a problem with it, they can deal with it. Like when she got sober, my mom got sober at 51, and when she got sober, she kind of like refound her freedom a little bit. Like, I think my mom felt like stuck from like her mid-20s to like she got sober. And then I think it took like a year or two after her getting sober where she really found herself again. There were so many things that my mom would not allow herself to do. I mean, t-shirts. Okay, let's just talk about that for a second. Like, my mom would never show cleavage. She was always really embarrassed of like how large she was, and she always felt like people were looking at her. Well, when she got sober, I'm not talking about the second, I'm talking about a couple years after though, she was like, look at him all you want, but that doesn't define me. And she's like, and if I'm comfortable in a V-neck t-shirt, I'm gonna wear a V-neck t-shirt, you know? And she did. And that was kind of the era where she wore a lot of black, big sunglasses. I think that's why I love that Joan Didion picture of the Celine sunglasses, because it reminds me of my mom a little bit. She really only ever wore like hot pink as a color. Blue sometimes, but really hot pink, and always black. Always, always black. And that was like after her sober years. And she wore a lot of V-neck t-shirts, and she's like, I just don't care anymore. She's like, for years, I've worn stuff to cover my... She wore a lot of turtlenecks, a lot of sweaters, because she felt like it wasn't the good image of a mom. And she's like, I think that is some bullshit that is fed to us by society. She'd get real upset about it. She'd say, for years, I turned my radio down so that I wasn't offending anybody on our street, our suburban street, when I had much business being there as anybody else. My mom would be like, I named that street. She named the street that we lived on because there was only 2 people there, so they had to name the street. The street was called, like, 21st Street or something like that, and then they let them name it. So my mom got to name the street that I grew up in. Are they sleeping now? Oh, they are. They're sleeping over there so sweetly. How did I get talking about all this and looking at the Chicago 7 and all this kind of stuff? This is crazy. I don't even know. Wiggle my toes. I'm going back in time thinking about, how did I talk about all this? My mom, Northwestern Library. My dad. I was talking about my dad more, wasn't I? My mom. I don't remember. It's weird when you, like, think about, like, who you've become. Like, I think, I didn't see it as so much in my 30s, but as I've gotten into my 50s, I've definitely seen, like, parts of my parents that I pick. Like, my dad would say to me, you're very much like your mom. Like, you don't pick your battles. You want to fight everything. And you're a right fighter. And I have been like that the majority of my life. I've been a right fighter. Like, if I saw something that wasn't right, no matter what my stake in it was or not, I wanted to fight it. I just was a right fighter. My mom was always like that. And my dad was like, the problem with that is that you don't win a lot of, like, you're not really making a lot of change in the world when you do that. Which I already knew, because, like, in my early 20s, even before I got sober, I was, like, going to Earth Day rallies and, anti-violence rallies, and I went to all kinds of things, I was real heavily involved in, like, gay pride and all that kind of stuff back then. And I think there became a point where I realized, I'm turning off this display brightness on my phone because it's just stuck and it's driving down the battery. I think there was a time when I realized you're not really affecting great change in the world. And maybe this isn't a popular opinion, but when you are, it's everything, And so then I was like, okay, what are the issues that you really feel pretty strongly about? And at that point it was addiction, recovery, like affordable mental health and things like that. Because it was the community that I was seeing that was mostly affected by it. And I was seeing that addiction was affecting everybody. I also obviously, I believe greatly in human rights for the LGBTQI plus community. I think in the last couple of years, ethical treatment of animals, obviously, rescue dogs and things like that, rescue animals has greatly affected me. I don't know, I just think that, it's interesting, like, I see people online, and it's like, I'm not saying this, I'm not making a blanket statement about everybody, but it's like every trending world issue that is significant, they're serving the world's problems by not acting differently or learning from what's going on or having educated conversations with people or asking people about their opinions. It's just meme after meme after meme of let me educate you, let me push this down your throat, whatever. And I don't know that I think I've never, maybe once or twice, like especially on Facebook, when people just scream into this echo chamber of, I'm so mad about, and they're like whole Facebook, I'm like, you are so living in anger. Like, you're not even helping yourself, let alone helping anybody else. I don't know. I always talk about my parents getting divorced and stuff and the divorce settlement. That's how I got into all this. Because my dad would say it was the greatest love story ever. He was like, we were so madly in love. He would say that right now if he was sitting here. He would say, we were so madly in love until we weren't. And then when we weren't, he was like, we didn't even like each other. Like, they did not like each other. Respected each other. And I think that was so important for the co-parenting of me. Greatly, greatly respected each other. My mom never let me talk badly about my dad and vice versa. And would always stick up for the other one. If I was pissed at my dad and I was complaining to my mom wouldn't be like, yeah, he's an asshole. I mean, a couple of times I would hear my mom, like, throughout the years call him, like, SOB or something like that. And if I said something like that, she'd say, you don't ever speak about your father like that. Your father's always taken care of us. He's been a great father to you. Like, you never speak that way. If I was mad at my dad about something. If I was mad at my mom and I said something like out of pocket about my mom, my dad would, I mean, like my stepmom too would say it. You know, she would say, you know, and my dad's always been like that. With, you don't talk bad about anybody. Your stepmom, blah, 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 whatever. You don't talk about your mom that way. I never did, really, you know, like, I don't think I sang untruths about her. I have to be honest with you, like, one thing that irritates me is, like, and we all know somebody like this, like, they do not get along with somebody at all. Like, they cannot stand them. Or it's like a family member they've always had this difficult relationship with. And then that person passes away, and it's like, immediately. It's like, oh my God, they were the greatest person in the entire world. There's no reason. Like, I would not appreciate that. Like, if somebody that I didn't get along with after I was gone, let's just say I'm even cognizant of it, if they want to say, you know what, we didn't get along, but it makes me sad what happened to Peter, I appreciate that sentiment. But to all of a sudden come out and be like, oh my God, I loved Peter so much, I'd be like, if I were coming back, I'd be like, that is bullshit. You never treated me like that on earth. You either should have treated me that way while I was alive, or zip it now. Like, keep your mouth shut. I don't love that with people. I think it's phony. I think it's disingenuous. And I know that's not a hot take, and I don't really care. I've never done that with my mom. My mom was very wise, but my mom could be very difficult. Very difficult. With me, with anybody in her life. She was a very scared person. I understand more of it now. I think a lot of me really wanting to understand what happened with my grandma. I make jokes about it. I mean, it's so long ago. People are like, your mom, your grandma would be so offended about it. If my grandma went to prison, it was during the time my mom was doing the riots. It would have been in the 60s, okay? Like, come on, it's 2026. Nobody's losing sleep over it today. But I think part of why I originally got real interested in it is that my aunt always had this relationship with my mom where she felt like she needed to take care of her. Like, even when my mom passed away in the hospital, like, they couldn't get my aunt. Like, everybody was like, give Peter a couple minutes by himself. Like, they couldn't even get my aunt out of the hospital room. My aunt was, like, panic mode, asking, like, the nurse and the doctor, like, well, what happens to her now? Like, where does she go now? I need to go with her. And they were like, we take her down. Like, they wouldn't say morgue. And finally, I think they had to, because my aunt just wasn't getting it. And she was brilliant, smart, right? And she just wasn't getting it. And she didn't want to. She was in denial. She's like, I can't let her sleep alone. She can't be here by herself. I mean, she was like, it was crazed. Because my aunt had always taken care of my mom. They had this very, like, you would see them sometimes together, like, especially when my aunt was drinking, like, well, when they drank together before my mom got sober, you'd see it a lot come out. Where it was almost kind of like this chitter chat between children. Like, Caroline and I have talked about it a lot. It was bizarre. It was almost like they were like 5- and 6-year-old little kids talking, but they were grown adults, you know? Smoking cigarettes with a glass of wine in their hand, drunk. Like, but they were like talking like they were little kids. It was weird. They were very, very close. They were very protective of each other, even though they fought a lot. Like, they fought. I mean, my aunt would say things to me like, if your mother was not my sister, she would not be in my life. Like, not all the time. And the next time I talked to her, she'd be like, oh my God, like, I love your mother more than anybody in the world. You know, but it was just this very volatile relationship that they had. And my mom, as wise as she was, I mean, there was only, like, people would say, like, like, my Uncle Dave, Caroline's dad, they'd say, like, you and him are, like, the only two people that your mom will listen to. Like, she won't listen to anybody else, except for Susie, my mom's friend Susie, my Aunt Susie. And Susie just wouldn't pay it a lot of mind. Like, my mom could say really hurtful things, you know? If I have a sharp tongue, I got it from my mom. I definitely didn't get it from my dad. I do have a sharp tongue at times. I watch it more now. But anyway, you know, my dad would say, I pick my battles better now than I did. And I think I really listened to my dad. There became a point where what I realized, you know, when I was like in high school, before I got sober, my dad, my mom too, but really my dad really tried to give me a lot of advice. My dad never was like, you need to do this. I mean, my dad's never been like that. If I told my dad was always supportive of me wanting to go into fashion design, me wanting to, anything I wanted to do. My dad, he'd be like, chase your dreams. Go for it, Peter. I'm 100% supportive of you. You know? I mean, I'm really blessed to have the parents and the stepmother that I do. Like, unbelievably blessed. And understanding me and supporting me. I mean, I really put, especially, my mom was so out of it in her own addiction at the time, but my dad and my stepmom, I mean, my stepmom, she was, like, she knew a lot about you know, she was younger, so she understood a lot more of it. And she was in my dad's ear a lot. And my dad was just like, my dad finally said to me one day, you're going to make me pick between you and my marriage, and you're not going to like the choice I make. And I really put my dad and my stepmom through hell. Like, there's no amends in the world that I could ever make it, which is why, to some degree, it's a living amends, but I don't really love that idea of a living amends, whereas you just don't, that you don't, like, recreate the old behaviors. I just think that's what's expected of you in recovery anyway. But, I don't know, like, there was a period where I started thinking, like, my dad would never say, like, you need to do this. I like, take things to my dad and be like, what would you do in this situation? My dad's like, oh, Pete, I don't know. Like, I can remember with my ex, I called my dad up and I said, I mean, this was, like, probably, like, 2 weeks before he broke up. Things were so bad at this point. And I said to I mean, not bad, like, fighting or anything. We just were completely distant from each other. And I said to my dad on the phone, I'll never forget this conversation. I said, Dad, how do you know when it's over in a relationship? And he said, oh, Pete. And he said, is that where it's at? And I said, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And he said, well, in my history, if you're there, it's already too late. I think he was right. Like, my dad's never given me bad advice. And that's just one example. My dad's always given me very direct advice, and so has my mother. I think there was a point when I realized, and I think I told both of them too, and this was hard. My stepmom gives fantastic advice, always has, but I think it was easier to talk to my stepmom because of the age difference. Like, she was closer to me in age, so I would take things to her that I wouldn't take to my parents. But, and I'll never forget, it was after my grandma passed away, so I was like 13 or something at the time. She said to me, she said, I love this. I tell people this all the time. She said, you know, you and I get to have a special different relationship because I'm not going to be your mother and I'm not going to be your friend. But you and I can have a relationship that you can't have with your mother, you can't have with your father, and you can't have with your friends. We have a special, unique relationship, and we always have. I see her as a parental role, but I also see her as somebody closer than that. Like, we're not friends, but she's not my parent. But I would say she's been a huge support system to me in my life. She tells me things I need to hear, but I also respect the fact that she is first and foremost my father's wife. Like, you know, I know that, and I always have. And she gives fantastic advice, always has. And I don't know, like, I think there became a point when I just realized my parents aren't giving me advice. I think I had seen this from other people, where other people's parents, I cannot believe it must be sitting outside. The battery has not gone to the halfway mark yet. I'm at like 22 minutes on this part, so 52 minutes. But like, my parents never gave me advice. I think I had witnessed other people get advice like, you need to major in this and you need to do that. My parents never did that. So I think, like, after I got sober, I realized any advice that my mom or dad was giving me, well, really at that time it would have been more my dad, because my mom was like in her own active addiction and just was getting sober 6 months after me. It was, I would say, like a year or two sober. I realized that advice my dad was giving me was because he really loved me and he wanted to help me. That was when my dad and I had the conversation, and he said, life is like a decision tree. And he said, I wish that I could show you all the successes that I've had in my life and all the mistakes and failures that I've had. And if you followed that road, you can have an amazing life. Except what I've learned is that your life looks completely different than mine. So even if you followed that model, your life would be completely different. And then he told me about the decision tree. And the decision tree is basically like, as you go up this tree, right, you got two branches. You know, like, do you want to go to school? Do you want to start working when you get out of high school? Okay, I'm going to go to college. So when you go to college, or, you know, like, you're going to go into technical school, I'm going to go into college. Okay, so when you go to college, what are you going to study? I'm going to study this, whatever. Then you make all these decisions through life. Some of them are good or some of them are bad, but you have to just learn that, like, you've got to make decisions in life. That's part of life, right? And so I think then that point was when, if I was going to go to my dad and I was going to ask for suggestions or advice, I listened. We got into it one time. He said, don't waste my time. If you're not going to listen to what I'm saying, don't sit here and let me have a conversation with you and waste my time and be worried about you, and then you completely do something different. And so after that, I can't even remember what it was. After that, I was like, you know, my dad would say to me, he was always really nice about it, but he would be very direct. And he'd say, if you're calling me for advice because you just want me to, like, my dad's not a complainer. Like, you don't call my dad and complain to him about it. Well, hi, guys. You don't call my dad and complain to him. like when I would do that back, my mom, oh, she would, she'd go to town with some complaining. But like my dad, he's not a big complainer. He's like, what is it, honey? What is it, babe? You guys want to go potty? Let me take them out real quick, and I will be back in 2 and 2. Okay, I'm back. It is cold outside. Y'all, you've been having so much attention today. We just went outside. I reached down to give Otis his treat, and he like got it at my finger, but it was a real little treat, and I was like, ow! That hurt. That was when we were outside. You guys go take a nap now. I'm almost done. I was like holding on to that thought when I went outside. Well, I went over to get my coat, and I was like, where's my coat? That coat that I showed you guys. I was like, where's my coat? And then I was like looking around. I was like, where did I put that? I never would put it over in that chair, except if I was sitting here. I couldn't find that coat, and then I was like, oh, there it is, over there in that chair. Yeah, my dad's not a complainer. Like, he has no time for it. I mean, he said things to me through the years like, life is like a list of, he's very dry humor, sarcastic. Some people, like people think my dad is the funniest person they've ever met. But like my dad will say things like, life is a list of burdens, and once you've crossed all the burdens off, your life is over. Like, but he's not a complainer. Like he would not complain about anything. Like he'd just do it. He don't want to hear about complaining. When I would call him up like years ago and complain about something, he'd listen and then he'd say to me, I don't really know why you're calling. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm pissed about this. He goes, okay, so do you want me to be, are you calling me because you want me to be as pissed off as you are? Because I don't want to ruin my day being pissed off. And then I'd be like, that's how my dad taught. Like, I'm not wasting my day to be pissed off. Basically, indirectly saying, if you want to waste your day being pissed off, fine, but don't call me and try to get me in a bad mood. That's how my dad would deal with it, you know? But yeah, it's interesting, like, as I get older, like, bits and pieces that I see of myself and my parents. Like, definitely when I was younger, like, I didn't pick my battles well. Oh my God, I was full of rage and anger, and I mean, even just in the last 10 years, I've really worked hard on that. Like, my dad, there was a calmness and a peace about my dad, and there was about my mom, too. Like, it was weird, because, like, with my mom, like, my dad is pretty steady and consistent all the time. And always has been, you know, like, foundation for me. My mom, like, she could get, I mean, I have this in me. Like, she could get real fired up about something, and it could be a book, a political situation that was going on, a celebrity pop culture thing, or a friend of hers. She could get real fired up, real angry, real passionate, depending on the situation. Or it could be another situation, and she could just not care at all. You know what I mean? Like, she'd just be like, it was, and I think that had a lot to do with her emotional state and just kind of like, you know, how she was in that moment, whatever, I don't know. But as I get older, I'm definitely somebody today that picks my battles. Like, I don't let my feathers get ruffled over just anything. The battery just went to the halfway mark. I don't let my feathers get ruffled just over everything. It's not worth it to me today. And I have learned that from my dad. I don't know, like I said, there was a period in my life where I was like, your parents and the people that love you are giving you advice. I've shared this before because I've talked about that song about always wear sunscreen. It's a form of flattery when somebody gives you advice. You know, they're wanting to help you. They're not wanting to hurt you. I do think it has a lot to do with how the advice is presented. You know, neither one of my parents, and actually my sponsor that I had, well, now I've had my sponsor that I have now. I've had her for the longest period of my sobriety. But the sponsor that I had that died a couple years ago, that was 40 years sober, like he would never, I mean, I've seen sponsors like this, or like, you must do this and you must do that and whatever. He never sponsored me that way. Like if I would call him up with something, and it didn't really matter like how menial or how severe it was, he would say to me, well, if I were in your situation, what I would do is, but he would hardly even say like what I suggest. He would say, I'm just telling you what I would do if I were in your situation, but you don't have to do that. But that's what he would say. And I learned a lot better from hearing that. Like that was a lot easier for me to learn than somebody, I think I always yearned to have somebody say, do this, don't do that, because I work very well in structure. I don't think it's missed on me in my life that I haven't had that. When I was doing my practicum, so I did my practicum for my master's in social work. Was it my second one or my first one? No, it was my first one in an elementary school. And this woman, she passed away. I found out she passed away like a year ago. That was my mentor in the program. She was fantastic. And I remember, so I was in there with like second year students too. They were there, I was only in there for like 2 days a week, but they were in there like 5 days a week or something like that. I can't remember how it all worked. But anyway, we would meet with her like once a week, and or every morning she'd come in and check in with each of us like 5 minutes, and we meet with her like once a week. And I hadn't really started anything because I didn't really know what to do. We had to take like referrals from the teachers, and and then we had to do like start a group and whatever. And I remember meeting with her, and I was like, I don't really know what's expected of me. And she's like, what do you mean? I told you, like, you have to do like see like 5 students a semester, and you have to like start a group. And I said, well, I don't really know what kind of group you want. I don't know where to get the students from. She said, well, have you asked people? And I said, no. And she said, have you thought about what groups you might be interested in doing? I said, I don't know what kind of groups the school needs. Have you asked any of the teachers? I said, no. She said, I'm not going to do your job for you. She goes, one of the things that you're learning right now, she was such an experiential teacher, and she taught me so much more than to do that job. She taught me how to live life, because she said, I'm not going to teach you. I'm not going to give you a list, and this is what you have to do as a checklist. She said, you need to learn how to be self-motivated. That experience taught me how to be self-motivated, and I ended up loving that experience. I mean, it taught me I didn't want to be a school social worker, but I loved that experience. This friend of mine that I worked with, she was second year in her master's program. We did a group together with kids whose parents, I've shared this story before, not parents, their siblings have been killed in gang warfare. And so we had them plant seeds. I mean, this is where like I learned so much from that. Like, they planted seeds to grow like plants throughout the semester. And we did The 10th Good Thing About Barney, which is a book about a kid whose cat dies. I know it doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of like somebody losing a sibling, but the group was around grief. And the kids were like, I think like in first grade. It made a lot of sense in the context, and the kids did very well in it. We came in the day, I think it was the morning of, I can't remember now, it's been so long ago. I can remember because we just both started laughing, like this is life, like what are we gonna do? It was like grass seed or something like that. All the plants had died, like over the weekend. Oh my God, what's going on? All the plants had died over the weekend, and we're like, what are we gonna do? And like we went out and bought these plants and put them in the planter so they look like, so the kids, none of them knew, But we were like, we cannot have these kids in a grief group the last day their plants died, I think that was just as self-motivated to think on your feet. It's like the Barbara Coloroso that wrote the teaching books and stuff back in the day about thinking, she'd experiment about, she tells this thing in her book about her daughter wanted to make a birthday cake for her daughter, or for grandma. It was like grandma's 80th birthday or something. She made this birthday cake, but as they're walking out the door, the cake falls on the floor or something like that. And, like most parents would be like, oh my God, what are we going to do, blah, blah. And so the little girl's like freaking out, and the mom's like real calm. Barbara Coloroso, she's real calm. And she's like, oh my, what are you going to do? And she's like, I don't know. And she's like, well, we still have to have a cake for grandma because you promised to bring the cake for grandma. And she's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she's like, yeah, it's kind of too late to bake another cake now. We were out the door. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, we could buy another cake. And Barbara Coloroso says to her daughter, she says, do you have enough money to buy another cake? And she's like, no, but I think I have half the much money. And she's like, Mom, what if I give you half the money to buy the cake, and then I'll work off the other half of the money to buy the cake? And Barbara Coloroso says, I think that's a pretty good plan. Like, let's do that. What she did in that moment, it wasn't about the birthday cake. She would have bought the damn birthday cake. It was about teaching her daughter to think outside the box, to be self-motivated and think. And I think in those times, my parents, professors that I've had, mentors of mine, supervisors, have so allowed me to do that, to become the person that I am today. And very little of that has to do with me being a YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like, I also think that a lot of like me being a YouTuber today, I've had to like make a lot of like fucked up choices online and make mistakes to think through that, I mean, people ask me a lot, like, how you handle the situation then versus, I'd handle it completely different. But I didn't have that back then. I didn't have that knowledge back then. That's the whole idea of when you know better, you do better, right? Like, I'm a believer in that. Does that mean that I'm not going to make mistakes? But I'm grateful for the people that I had in my life. And like I said, there became a point where I realized that the people that were giving me advice in my life or suggestions did it because they loved me. They wanted me to have the best life possible, you know? It wasn't like they were trying to shame me or put me down. They wanted me to have the best life possible. So they were giving me suggestions based on mistakes or successes that they had had in their life. What an amazing gift to give somebody, you know? So, anyway. Otis, I don't get it. Oh, we stopped. Otis was licking Walter, which is what Boo Radley used to always do to Tucker, which is so sweet. They lay right next to each other. Do you guys want to see this picture? Oh my God. Who is texting me? Nikki said, yes, I just woke up from a nap. Now I don't even remember what I texted her earlier. Oh, happy Felon Friday, Bunky. She said, yes, I just woke up from a nap. Y'all want to see Nikki's nails? I'll show you Nikki's nails. There they are. I said, girl, just go with hot red or something like that. Oh, because I was talking about you now. Y'all are over here. What was I going to show? Oh, the picture I was going to show you guys. It's such a cute picture. Look at them last night asleep. Can we just talk about that on my lap? Look at those little babies. Look at those little babies. So I'm going to get off here now. I'm not taking a walk tonight, I don't think. I really want, I'm like so into this Murder by Cheesecake. Should Dad put on his coat and strap up and try to make it out for 10 minutes? I know once I get out, I'll be like, it is cold, but it feels refreshing. I don't know, maybe I will. What time is it right now? It's 8 something, I can't even see. It's like 8:15 or something. By the time the vlog is rendered, it'll be like 8:30. I can try to walk until like 9. And then... And then we're gonna watch TV shows. Yes, we are. And movie. Oh, Walter's doing his smile. Show him your smile. Show him your smile, Walter. Yes. You wanna show him your smile? Show him your smile, you do. You were just doing it, buddy. That should be my thumbnail. Okay, I'm getting off here right now. We're gonna have lots of fun. It's Bachelor Weekend. Now tomorrow I will be vlogging. Depending on how I feel tomorrow, well, this is what I would love. I would love to order brunch tomorrow from a sub place. I'm thinking about maybe doing that tomorrow. You know what? I want to bring out the stair stepper thing tonight. That's one thing I want to do tonight is bring out the stair stepper. But we're going to take a nap. We're going to watch TV shows. I think I'm going to watch an episode. Oh, well, if I watch Love After Lockup tonight, if we can find out where to watch it, then I'll do my reaction tomorrow. If not, I will do it on Sunday. I want to watch an episode of Vera tonight. I wish Shetland was all out or The Pit so I could watch that. I can't be watching those yet. I gotta wait till they're all out. I've got 2 episodes left of The Last Frontier. So that's what I'm gonna watch tonight and read. But anyway, tomorrow, I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear. I mean, when the snow hits tomorrow night, like Sunday, I probably will just do a vlog. Oh, I know. I will be doing like a Peter Does Stuff video. It'll probably be on Sunday of walking in the snow because you know I love to do those videos. So I'm gonna do a video of walking in the snow. Yeah, but other than that, we're just going to be relaxing. Wherever you are, I hope you guys are safe, and I hope that you are warm, and that you guys have food and supplies. Anyway, you guys ready to hang out and have Bachelor Weekend? You are? Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Friday. If nobody else has told you this today, this is what Walter does. Can you see him? You want to show him what you do? What are you doing? If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys, and of course I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.